The rising sea levels are an undeniable consequence of global warming, primarily attributed to the thermal expansion of seawater and the melting of polar ice caps. This will lead to coastal flooding in many areas. According to studies, almost 570 cities will experience coastal flooding by the year 2050. In response to this escalating threat driven by climate change, South Korea has officially initiated the creation of the world's first floating city. This innovative project, situated off the coast of the populous city of Busan, represents a convergence of cutting-edge technology, sustainable design, and visionary urban planning. Today, we'll examine the current challenges posed by rising sea levels, the unique characteristics of Busan, the operational mechanics of the floating sea, and its transformative potential, along with the significance of this pioneering endeavor. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, sea levels have risen by approximately 8 to 9 inches, or 20 to 22 centimeters, over the past century. What's worse is that due to immense carbon emission and deforestation, the rate has accelerated in recent decades. Studies indicate that sea levels could surge by as much as 1 to 4 feet, or 30 to 120 centimeters, by the end of the 21st century, which can very well pose existential threats to low-lying coastal regions worldwide like the Hawaii, Maldives, and other islands. So the imperative to develop innovative adaptation strategies has never been more pressing than it is right now, and there is more than just one reason for this urgency. Saltwater intrusion. Rising sea levels contribute to the infiltration of saltwater into freshwater aquifers and surface water bodies located near coastlines. This is called saltwater intrusion, which compromises freshwater resources essential for drinking, agriculture, and industrial activities, as saltwater intrusion can contaminate the groundwater supplies. Not only that, it can also degrade soil quality and disrupt agricultural production, worsening water scarcity and food insecurity in affected regions. Infrastructure damage. Important infrastructure located close to coastal areas like ports, bridges, roads, and airports is susceptible to damage and disruption from rising sea levels and associated coastal hazards. Increased flooding and erosion from the intrusion of seawater can disrupt transportation networks, causing delays and inconvenience, as well as impose significant financial costs for repair and reconstruction. Loss of cultural heritage. Approximately 40% of the world's entire population lives within a 100-kilometer radius of the ocean, so the coastal regions are often home to culturally significant sites. Many ancient civilizations have grown near the sea, and as a result, a lot of art and culture has been produced there. Rising sea levels threaten to submerge and erode these heritage assets, leading to the loss of irreplaceable cultural and archaeological footprint, which can cause a loss of identity, heritage, and collective memory of communities. Economic impacts. The most concerning adverse effects of rising sea levels for progressive governments across the globe is the broader impact on the economy. The rising sea level will bring the additional burden of survival, repairs, reduced growth, loss of land, and outmigration. Coastal economies are also highly dependent on tourism, fisheries, agriculture, and maritime trade, which will also suffer because of it. The greater economic costs of sea level rise include property devaluation, business disruption, and loss of tax revenue. This can impose a concerning amount of financial burdens on everyone, be it government, businesses, or individual citizens. Because of such deadly implications of rising sea levels, powerful countries that can be affected by this change, such as South Korea, have come up with countermeasures to tackle the problem before it practically gets destructive. South Korea has a long area that connects with the ocean. It has a coastline of 2,314 kilometers, and various cities are situated on it, including Busan, which is the country's second largest city. Busan is a vital economic hub for the country and is renowned for its maritime heritage, cultural significance, and strategic location. It also has a population exceeding 3.5 million, while it accommodates urban growth, so it is vital for South Korea to protect Busan from the perils of coastal invasion. Fortunately, Oceanix, a US-based company that is backed by the United Nations, signed a deal with the government to host the first sustainable floating city prototype near Busan. According to reports, the construction of the floating city is going to cost around $200 million, and this project will be finalized by the year 2025. But I used the word sustainable earlier, which encompasses a whole lot, so let's see what this prototype is capable of doing. For starters, this city is self-sufficient. It will produce its own energy, and as the entire world is heading toward a greener alternative for fuel, the floating platform will also stay at par and use renewable energy. It is going to make use of solar energy through solar panels, which will be integrated into the surface to constantly absorb the free energy resource. Additionally, the new innovative tech will also be installed later, which is going to harness tidal energy to maximize energy production and easily satiate the power requirements of the platform. Apart from the energy, the floating city will also produce its own food through farming and will have its own supply of fresh and drinkable water. So, there's no dependency on any external source to satisfy the basic necessities. The designed infrastructure is also impressive, consisting of 75 hectares of buoyant material, which will be used in building 3-hectare-wide buoyant triangular platforms, each for different purposes, like lodging, living, and research. These platforms will be interconnected over a total of 15.5 acres, in which there will be allocated places for farming and recreation, which can pave the way for potential settlements upon development. The prototype serves as a multifunctional hub accommodating residential and commercial facilities, along with the recreational ones as discussed earlier. The initial capacity is around 10,000 people, with the potential to increase up to more than 100,000. On top of that, the platform will have flexible and dynamic movement, which means it will adjust its height according to the variations in sea levels. Since these platforms will be made with the help of lightweight and environmentally friendly wood and bamboo, one would assume that they would not be able to withstand harsh climates. But that's not true, as the prototype is said to be sturdy enough to endure natural disasters. Other than that, wastewater treatment facilities are incorporated into the infrastructure of the floating sea, enabling the efficient recycling and purification of water resources. Furthermore, this organic waste will be processed through composting and anaerobic digestion, yielding valuable resources for agriculture and energy purposes. Oceanix applies a strong emphasis on the use of organic material for the prototype, which is why kelps will be attached beneath the platforms, hanging from the bottom of the living pads, which will make the marine ecosystem healthier. The designers have put a lot of thought into sustaining the marine ecosystem along with the prototype, and they've come up with creative ideas like biorock, a cement-like engineering material that will be used to build the base of the platforms. The unique thing about biorocks is that they are extremely eco-friendly. They can also regenerate on their own in case of damage. Electrified reefs will also be created by using the biorock process, which provides a substrate on which corals thrive and is very similar to that of a natural reef. All these decisions will help clean the surrounding area, speed up marine healing, and mitigate the risks and hazards associated with traditional coastal development. By the looks of it, South Korea's pioneering initiative to create the world's first floating city seems like a flawless project. Not only does it save the land from the catastrophe of coastal flooding, but also makes the alternative even more organized and better than the original idea. The Oceanix prototype considers everything that can be improved and works to actually improve it by introducing new marine tech to harness tidal energy, utilizing organic matter to make the overall region more eco-friendly, and applying smart design to maximize area facilities ratio. What's left now is to see how much of the theory is pragmatically implemented and how the practical face of the floating city manifests itself in the upcoming few years when it will finally be operational. Will this Oceanix project be the key to solving the global issue? Or will there be a need to modify the framework and revamp the structure? Only time will tell.